Hey, oozes and bunnies. This is a preview of the most recent Party Planning, an extra podcast that the Join the Party crew makes for our Patreon. If you want to listen to the whole thing, go to patreon.com/jointhepartypod. Check out this preview.
Yeah. Eric was trying to figure out what to do with his hands.
What do I do with my hands? Where do I put them?
Spent the whole countdown trying to figure out what to do with his hands.
It's so funny. Only when there's a countdown, then I immediately fuck up what I'm going to do when the countdown stops.
Yes.
I wish there wasn't a countdown, then I wouldn't fuck around for 5 seconds.
They want you to be ready, but they don't understand the anxiety that it induces. So
exactly.
I feel you. I get you. Riverside,
that's why
do better.
I need you, Julia, to be like a stage manager and be like 3, 2.
This is only good for the non-audio people for the
you
video.
Can imagine all the theater people who are listening know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gesturing so fast for you to get on stage and stop talking to Christina.
God, stop talking to Christina. She's already dating someone else. You're not going to get in with her.
Yeah, it's because she's bored. Because her boyfriend's at lax practice.
And
you're here, Brian.
You're not going to hook up with her at the cast party, Brian. Don't be like this.
The cast party's not Euphoria. Come on.
Mm-hmm. The cast party is not Euphoria. That is a big problem with cast parties nowadays, is all the kids want it to be Euphoria, but it's not Euphoria. I've never seen an episode of Euphoria.
Oh, I haven't either. I just know it's like real. There's lots of designer drugs there. I think also the kids who are in middle school and high school and having cast parties, I think know explicitly that Euphoria is not their lifestyle. It's not like, it's very much, I can only assume that they're like, yeah, that's like a soap opera that's on HBO with Zendaya in it, and that's not my life.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you weren't doing designer drugs at cast parties in your friends' parents' basements?
No, I was, but I knew that I wasn't Zendaya.
Right.
Or
if only we could all be Zendaya in high school.
If only we were Zendaya. I wish I was Zendaya.
Yeah.
Well, Eric and Julia are together again on a...
Eric and Julia together again, and we're gonna do some character creation.
Making friends and making creations. That's what we do when we're together on behind the Patreon wall.
That's true.
Yeah,
we do it in front of the Patreon wall sometimes, too.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, at this point, I think people should take this seriously, considering how Becca, Queen of the Damned, is maybe is very important in Campaign 3. So y'all should be taking this very seriously.
You should.
Hey,
you never know.
If this is good enough for us, it's good enough for you. You should also steal this.
Word.
Steal these things and put it in your campaign. We've done villains. We've done NPCs. I think we did weapons and we did potions.
Yep.
And stuff. And I still have the same adjective list that was given to us by Lena Bray, Michelle Spurgeon.
Still so many in there.
Sarah, Maureen, Paul, Lyle, Marina, Allie, Cece Duran, Casey, and Con Dumstat. That's still there. They're still there. Thank you. Thank you to them.
Stank you very much.
Stank you very much. Y'all are so stanky, and I'm so stanky for you.
Yeah.
So Julia, what are we doing? What are we doing today in the character creation lab?
I think today, sometimes your characters, they go on little missions and they're like, hey, I don't have a thing that I need for that mission, or I would like to feel better prepared before we go on this quest or this side quest or whatever. And so you know who they go to, Eric, when they don't feel prepared and they want to feel more prepared?
They ask their GM to give them free things that they haven't earned.
That is sometimes what they do, but sometimes they go to a merchant.
Yay, merchants!
Merchants, these are people who are going to sell your character something, whether it's a rare book or a weapon or a magic fruit that solves all their problems.
Absolutely. Julia, who's your favorite merchant in video games? And I think I know the answer to this.
I really like Brock and Sindri from God of War.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Why do you like them?
I just think they're very funny, and Sindri in particular just like loves that boy so much. And when the boy is mean to him in the first game, I'm very, very mad at my boy because he's like, "No, Sindri's your friend. Stop being an asshole to Sindri. He just throws up every time he sees blood."
That's true. I like them too because also since God of War, the new one is set in Norse mythology instead of Greek mythology. It was nice to see a different version of dwarves.
Yes,
I thought that was cool. And like, listen, they're still Mel Brooks characters. They're very similar to what dwarves usually are, aka Jews. But like, it was kind of fun seeing it like a little more northern exposure sort of way. I thought you were gonna say Sharon or Sharon or Chamon.
Charon.
I was like I said, Chamon.
Shimon.
Shimon. Yeah, Karen from Hades because he's such like a silent type.
Yeah. No, I like a little I like a little dialogue. I like a little joke when I go to buy an item.
Yeah.
And like while Zagreus does make some jokes at Charon, which I really like when you say it because it sounds like Karen. And
It's
I'm
either
like,
Karen,
yeah.
it's Karen or Shimon.
Shimon.
And we're talking about Hades, of course.
Yes, of course. But Zagreus makes little jokes about how he doesn't talk, which is fun. But like, I like the kind of back and forth of Brock and Sindri from
Of course.
the God of War games. Big fans.
My merchant that I think I use the most is from Enter the Gungeon, which is my favorite video game. Very classic. He's just like a 45-year-old man in a white t-shirt and a big mustache. And again, the very classic roguelike thing where if you steal from him, he'll get pissed and then he'll shoot you with a big gun. But the fun thing is that you can buy an item, which is a mustache, and it gives you 50% less on merchant items.
That's amazing.
Because you look like the guy, which I find deeply funny.
He's like, you seem relatable to me. How's 50% off
I don't
sound?
know why, but we seem to be similar. You remind me of my cousin, other merchant. Merchant from Spelunky too. But that's kind of a basic one. I think my other favorite basic one are the Khajiit from Skyrim. I think I was talking about this recently from an episode of Games and Feelings that are coming out, and you talked to her as well on Spirits. Claire, who is a Nazi historian, who is awesome, and that episode is coming out today for Games and Feelings and very soon for Spirits.
I think this week.
Yeah.
Then it's already out by the time people are listening to it now.
I think Spirits 1 is next week.
Oh, okay, maybe. I don't remember.
I texted Amanda because I was like, mine's coming out for it. Yeah, Claire Albin is a Nazi historian, and we were talking about Skyrim and how just like there's a big plot in it where you have to choose both sides of the war are ethnocentrists. And you're just like, why? Todd Howard, why?
Why, Todd Howard? Why would you do that?
And it's like all of the tropes of fantasy are just in Skyrim, but you're having so much fun playing it, you kind of like gloss over it, or he does like one small thing different. You're like, oh, okay. So like the wandering nomad people who are merchants are cat people. And I kind of love that.
Okay.
It's like, what are you wearing? What are you selling? What are you buying? It's the same. It has all the problems of like having a nomadic people being merchants and only being there for as they're walking around. But I like that they're cat people. It makes it a little funnier.
Yes.
So,
I agree. 100%.
I love the Khajiit. I love the Khajiit deeply.
I also feel like I can't talk about merchants and not talk about Misha, my home DM, Misha's character.
We've heard of that.
Who is one of my favorite NPCs I've ever experienced in a home game, which is like he's just a merchant that sells fruit, but like, and my campaign is like an interplanar, like based on Magic the Gathering campaign, and so no matter what plane we're on, we can find Blazo and buy fruit from him, and it's great. Coming
up with fruit and using that as kind of like a centralizing thing, because I think there are different ways for you to put merchants in your tabletop RPG game. Obviously, depending on what you're doing or what game you're playing, there might be something specific like Blades in the Dark. You might have stuff like that, or you have to go to specific type of factions for that. But for something that's a little bit more loose with Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, I feel like there are 3 different types of merchants. One is single merchant in single place. Either they are a regular person or a legendary, like you have to go to top of mountain to get incredibly good sword. The second is the one at your home base or the place where you return. So it's like your favorite NPC also can make you stuff or whatever. And then the third thing is like what you're talking about, a interplanetary god who happens to show up wherever you are, which might be the funniest.
It is very amusing. And the first time we realized that he was also a planeswalker, we were like, Blazo? Why didn't you tell us?
It's like, I was too busy selling you apples that gave you super strength.
He also has a Eastern European accent, so he's like, "Hello, I am Blazo. I'm here to sell you fruit.
Here is Apple.
Would you like apple that make you seem like you are dead, but you are not actually dead?" And you're like, "Yes, Blazo, I would like that. That seems like it would be useful for a heist."
This will turn you into this will give you strength of ox. Also, it will turn you into ox.
Save these for later.
Oh, Julia, I got infinite. It's
I know.
I'm giving that to Misha. That one's going to Misha right now.
Yeah. We haven't seen Blazo in a while, but
apple that gives you strength of ox and
also turn you into ox.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should I do that accent for a character in the future?
Bad Russian accent or bad your Eastern European accent. I've said this before. All of your impressions are just character voices.
Yeah.
All bad impressions are just character voices, and you should.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Also, I should do it.
I don't think I've done that one. I've done that one before.
You should. Save it for one. You've been rocking the French accent so much lately. I'm giving you permission to do bad Russian.
Thank you. It just so happens that it's relevant to the world building that we've created.
We did create that in the space. That's on us.
Next NPC you deal with will be it is like rolling a marble around in my mouth.
He will be cabbage, and he will also be from
Eastern Europe. He is stuffed with things. That impression. I think what I'm doing is John Malkovich from Rounders.
Okay.
Do you know
I've
that?
Never seen that.
Oh, it's very much a dude movie.
Okay.
It's about like poker, and Matt Damon and Edward Norton in it, and John Malkovich plays this guy named Teddy KGB who runs like an underground.
It's a terrible name.
I know, truly. He runs an underground poker ring like in New York City. That's kind of the whole premise. And John Malkovich had to learn a Russian accent. So the story goes that he had a Russian woman reading all of his lines to him, and that he would remember them phonetically by hearing her say it. Like you're memorizing your bar mitzvah portion, for example.
That's wild. Wild.
And it's Julia. It's the worst Russian accent. There's a point there. Here are some lines that here's a line that he says. He says, "Pay that man his money. Pay that man his money." True. That is not far off from how he says it in the movie. Mm-hmm. Pay the man his money.
Yep. That's bad. Eric, that's bad.
Oh, it is bad.
You could also tell that it was like a Russian woman giving him the lines from the way that these are being spoken, which is, I don't know.
Yeah. Pay that man his money.
I think I just do the dad from American Tail when I do Russian accent, and I don't know why.
That is Polish immigrant, Julia, escaping Nazism.
I said what I said.
I love it.
I can't go back now.
I don't love it. I love it. Okay, that's incredible. All right, so we have to do this. We're warmed up, Julia. We have to start doing this. So I have my list of 100 adjectives. There are a few that are removed, but I do have a D100 that is from A to W because I don't think we got any Y or Z adjectives.
Yeah, that's fair.
Julia, will you roll a D100 to give us an adjective to kick off any one of these merchants?
Forgot we needed dice for this.
You can give me two D10s, or you can just do it on the computer.
I got them. We're good.
Okay.
I got 11.
You got 11?
11.
All right, 11. This is breathtaking. Julia.
Oh.
A breathtaking merchant. That was great. My favorite part was the accent work. If you like that, you got to hear the rest of Party Planning by joining the Patreon at patreon.com/jointhepartypod.